Good evening, everyone. Are we there? Are we on?
Yeah, we are. We are. Hello, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. How are you guys doing? Starting to show off, paying tribute to Ralph Griffith, who was a friend of the program, but more importantly than that, just as far as independent comics are concerned, we owe a lot to him. He and Stu and Randy, and I'm sure others that I'm forgetting.
Vince and Mark and Guy and Jason and Jeff and Sandy. Don't forget Sandy Bratzel.
Of Arrow Comics.
Timothy Dazan. Yeah.
We're still paying tribute to Ralph, and Ralph, we still miss you. We'll miss you forever, and wanted to make sure that we still let everybody know that we're still thinking of Ralph here at Indie Vault. Very much so.
Yeah, I was telling Stu, as soon as all of this bug mess is over with, there's going to be a big party.
Yeah,
we're all going to get together and have a bunch of pizzas and just talk good times.
I will hit the intro, and then me and Randy will be right back at you with all the comic book news. Here we go. Welcome, everybody. Welcome.
Hey.
I'm Varian Grant. I am the founder of Indie Vault Media LLC. Started making comics way back in 2008. First book I ever created was a black and white interior action comedy, and it was called Psycho Sirens. And it's that framed right off to the right over here of me, above my art desk. I've been making comics since then. Can't get rid of me. I'm a father, a husband, a comic book artist, publisher, writer, all that good stuff. Very reluctant taxpayer. And this is Indie Vault Livewire. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here with me and Randy. Randy, how are you?
I'm good this morning, or this evening, actually. Yeah. This morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you're listening to us all around the world. It's the 15th of December, where we're at a little after 9 in the evening, and we're here to talk funny books, comics, and all of the stuff involved therein.
So,
I'm Randy Zimmerman. I've been an alternative and independent creator, publisher, everything in the comic direct market. I've done it all, and now I do sequential artwork mainly for advertising and educational purposes. And I also do the Zim Geek channel over there on YouTube, where I teach cartooning. Used to teach cartooning after school, but I haven't done that in a while, and I dearly miss it. Also, I'm part of the Indie Vault broadcast network. So welcome aboard, everybody.
We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. Got some questions in. I don't have cards for the questions, but I do have the questions, so I can read those. More than happy to read those. I was noticing this reflection in my glasses.
Your fantastic shades. Yes.
Yeah. I can't watch. I can't look at adult material now.
Viking Yoda is looking down on us all. That's what it's Tipsy and the Jolly Bee. Yes. The Jolly Bee. Yes.
Yeah. Everyone, I've was got a message from Indie Vault Radio, and
I think we had another, didn't we? Wait a minute. There's a message here from somebody, isn't there?
Sure. Let's see.
I think I got it.
Comics are awesome.
That might not be the right one, but that's comics today are awesome, folks.
Too bad that game you put your name on wasn't. Anyway, so
was that a dig, sir?
That was a dig. That was a dig, Keanu. I'm sorry.
I'm not privy to that.
Yeah, that was that Cyberpunk game is very glitchy on PS4 and Xbox.
Oh, is his name associated to that?
Oh yeah, he's playing Johnny Silverhand. A very long a legacy character for that game and for Cyberpunk. So Johnny Silverhand was a rocker boy. He's one of the.
I hope his comic is better than.
But interesting thing about that is I got an email from Indie Vault Radio.
Hang on, I think we got another message. It's an important news item. Hang on.
Okay.
I'm not wearing any pants. Film at 11.
Gives us something to shoot for.
Yes, it does.
There might be film at 11.
The email I got was from a young lady who says that her boyfriend is he wants comics for Christmas.
Cool.
And he's given her a long list of independent books that are available.
Sure.
As well as some mainstream stuff that she.
I was going to say he's got great taste if it's just independent books.
Yeah, there's a mixture of both. But the problem that she has, and I'm just going to paraphrase her letter here because it was a pretty long letter. The problem that she's having is that she cannot find a lot of those independent books that have come out through the year. She can't find them. And if she does find them on eBay, they're now 2 to 3 times the price that they would have been.
Well, some of those are going to be higher, especially if they're like crowdfunded books that she's looking for.
Yeah.
But she needs to check with her local retailer first. If she's got any comic shop retailers in her area, she definitely needs to check with them first and patronize them as much as possible because they can really use the money right now.
Yeah, she says her boyfriend does not care about the whole anti-comics gate, pro-comics gate thing. He just likes comics. He's got comics on everybody. He's got mainstream comics.
He's like us then. He just loves good comics.
Right. He's got CG comics. He got anti-CG comics. He's got comics from everywhere. Cool. And he wants them. But guys, I was thinking, and that's something that I like to talk about. Are we gonna run into a situation where, and have we, and are you, as someone out there maybe listening who makes independent comics, are you missing a market? An aftermarket of people who might want your book that they can't get to because you did your crowdfunding, you fulfilled, and now you're on the book 2 or the next project, and you're leaving money out there that's kind of just sitting there that wants to pick up your book. The other thing is she had mentioned that she can't find some of these books. The other problem with that is if she can't find those books, you're not making money.
Yeah, but again, we're talking about a market that's just now starting to find its legs. So you've got a lot of little publishers out there who are missing out on a lot of opportunity that they have. There's a desperate need right now. Well, I think what you're trying to work towards fulfilling, to have a distribution company to offer a lot of that stuff. Yeah. Eric, good morning. Larry, or good morning. Here I am working the morning show again. Good evening, Larry. Good evening, Eric.
Yeah. Larry says, tell about it. It'll be there. Yeah. And then Eric says, it's killed to the Avenger on the list. I can make it happen. And that was the thing I was going to tell her. Malfunction. It says, hey, Mary. Hey, malfunction.
Yeah.
Malfunction. Yeah.
Well, she's also, you have to remember, she's probably somebody from outside the comic realm. So she has no idea who makes what book.
Right. I was going to reach out
there looking. Yeah.
Yeah. Reach out to some of the people. You can normally find them on Twitter and say, hey, let's explain your situation. Hey,
there might not be a created by list. It might just be a list of titles too.
Right. I mean, she might do a little bit of research and go in there and say, hey, you know what? My boyfriend wants this book. I can't find it on Facebook. I'm not Facebook, on eBay. I can't find a website for it. And you'll be surprised how many of these creators will reach out and say, oh, I can get you a copy here. Here's a link. Here's my PayPal address. Put your address in. I'll make sure it gets out today.
You get a hold of them directly. They might actually be happy to autograph that book for them too.
Yeah.
Or that guy, to the Christmas dude, so and so. Is she local? Do you know if the
I don't know.
Email that was sent was local? Because I would also suggest, if all else fails, hit Ollie's. There's an awesome Kirby book out there. There's an awesome Golden Age Superman book that's available in beautiful, nice, thick book that's reprinting the early Superman stories that practically nobody has read or has any idea exists, that has Superman doing all sorts of crazy, more domesticated things like attacking senators and stopping the evil corporate boss and all sorts of different ideas like that. There's some really great comics out there that are available incredibly inexpensively.
Larry says, hey, look, you snooze, you lose, right? These books have very small print runs, which is why they go for a few dollars more on the eBay or on the Bay.
And it's just gonna get worse too. Like what Larry says, those prices are just gonna keep rising as more people discover alternative comics, and more people are discovering alternative and independent books all the time. So those prices now on eBay are not going to be the same prices that are going to be there in a couple of months and 6 months or a year. Those prices are systematically going to keep stepping up.
Yeah.
Because Larry is right. These books have had limited print runs, a couple thousand, maybe 5,000 at most. So if you find that on eBay and it's one of those rare crowdfunding type books, you're going to have to pay a few bucks more in order to get a hold of it. It's what's going to happen.
Larry says, if we all publish high rollers, that'd be a different story. Yeah. Brian Germain says, also checking Google and Amazon might not be the best route. Yeah, I mean, they don't put a lot of
especially if you don't have an Amazon Prime account, where it gives them an excuse to wait 8 freaking weeks to send you anything. Stupid Amazon. Anyway,
he says, also,
the minute they change that program is the minute I might start buying more books from them again.
Rebel Gaming says, I have the Indie Vault database of creators and their direct link sales. We had thought about doing something like that, where you could find almost like an Angie's List type of thing of independent creators, but I'm lazy.
Can't you get up on Pixel Trader's site, IndieCron.com, and find a lot of those books?
Yeah, well, that's what Eric says. If only there was a distributor and a Crown was it to find the info.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know that, but that's what, you can go to IndieCron, you can go to a lot of places and find these creators and reach out to them on Twitter, reach out to them on Facebook. A lot of them aren't going to run websites anymore just because there's so much hatred out there. I mean, I can imagine running a website and being some of these people and getting constantly
harassed and trolled by people who don't want to buy anything.
Yeah, DOS attacked, all kind of stuff on your website. It just ain't constantly contacting your hosting provider. He's a bigot. Get that off the internet. It just, oh gosh, who would want to? Xena Bow says it's TV night. He says,
no, it's not. It's IV night. It's TV. It's IV night.
He says, I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Oh,
yeah. Malfunction says, updating our website for the Oceania division of Rising Sun Comics. We got new comic strips coming out every week on the website. Sounds cool.
There you go.
Hope to discuss with you guys in the new year. All the best to your families this Christmas. Thank you. Same to you.
Same to you. Oh, and wait a minute. We have another message coming in. Here we go. Rising Sun, hope you're listening.
I hope you're having a nice holiday season. I really do.
And then Brian said, can you give an example of something she can't find? Well, she knows where to find the mainstream. She says the indie books are the problems that she can't find. He's told her all about.
Brian is really hoping that the guy's looking for a copy of Moonshadow #1. That's what it is. Brian does Dark Elf designs everywhere. Yeah. Brian, so happy you're listening.
She said that he talks her ear off. In the email, she says he talks her ear off about the whole Comicsgate thing. So he's not pro Comicsgate, he's not anti Comicsgate, he just wants comics. So there are books he wants that she can't find, and she's like, and the books she can find, they're going for ridiculously high prices on eBay.
And again, like what we were talking with Russ, I don't know if we did that on the air or not, but there are plenty of room out there for a lot of little cottage industries with somebody with an entrepreneurial spirit to go out there and maybe start an eBay store where they're offering some of those books, or somebody who could be starting a distribution company that'll have a catalog that'll offer a lot of independent product to retailers that they might not normally have access to. So hopefully soon that option will be there.
I could say this. I got 2 people who are sending me books that are independent comics, and they're sending me some books for Liberty, and I was surprised to get them. I told them what I was doing, and they said, hey, in January I'm sending you some books, give me the warehouse number, I'll send them over.
You're gonna have a heck of a catalog come start of the year.
That's
Liberty Entertainment Distribution, folks. www.ledg.us. And I say that only because Varian probably won't, because he's very touchy about advertising his own stuff here on the channel.
It's very weird, which is, we're going to talk about that later too. We're going to talk about why I don't do that. But let me catch up some of his comments. Jody McPhee. Jody McPhee is there. Brian Germain. Brian says, I was thinking more in the lines of a title. I can almost find anything on the internet. Yeah, I mean, and the thing is, I think what she's finding that it's just out of her price range. I mean, you know, you go up, try to find a 64. How much do you expect to pay for a 64-page comic? You expect what? Most people $10, $15.
If that. Yeah. And now you're finding them up there for 25, 50, 85, $100. Yeah.
Yeah. With all the little I can't say that word.
Tchotchkes.
Yeah. and that's extra. But you know, but Larry has a point. You know, hey, a lot of those books are short print runs.
Yes.
You know, he needs to get into them sometimes when they're available rather than waiting.
And as this market continues to grow, they will be offering subsequent editions of it. I'm sure Larry's looking at reprinting some of the Niobe work that he runs out of. And but those first prints, those first runs, those are going to be the collector's items. That's the ones that everybody's going to be scouring eBay looking for.
Yeah.
The first prints are the ones that are going to be the most valuable.
Yeah, and yes,
especially the first appearance of a character that ends up becoming super hot.
Yeah. I mean, some of those books, you know,
and right now we can't even recommend who that. We've got a couple of ideas of books that might be hot, but we can't recommend for sure anything that's going to jump in price.
Yeah, I mean,
please don't ask us for stock tips.
that's stock tips. That's Eric's department.
Yes.
And speaking of which, Eric is starting a new show here on Indie Volt. Which the reason why I know that is because someone's in my ear right now yelling about it.
You showed me the opening for that earlier today.
Yeah,
it was
I'm gonna play the opening here in a little bit, so people can get prepared for it, get excited for it.
Can we send Eric a link?
I'll send Eric a link if he wants to come in here. I'm not
Eric,
sure.
If you want to come in, you're welcome to come in and talk about your show. Absolutely.
Yeah, I can. Let me send him a link. Let me see here, and there we go. There should be a link out there, Eric, if you want to come in. Although I am falling behind on.
Malfunction says, yeah, it's a very hot, sunny day here in Rangaree,
New Zealand.
New Zealand. Yes, New Zealand has just become a totally open country. No restrictions, no COVID restrictions, because they all did everything right, apparently. And they keep an eye on anybody. I think they quarantine everybody when they get there.
Yeah.
Don't go to New Zealand unless you can spend 2 weeks or more before you see the scenery. So it came from the radio. I want to get my show on your network.
Yeah, we can make that happen.
Varian's the one to talk to about that.
Yeah, well, Lola is, but yeah, I can definitely.
Sorry. The Indie Princess is the one to talk to about that. But right now, you probably want to talk to Varian.
Yeah. Because I'll make sure she knows about
Lola's
it.
Not very talkative at the moment.
No. Let me run this trailer so you guys can see what it looks like.
Grant says, "Hey, fellas,
hey, Grant.
fellars.
I'm gonna run this intro, Randy, so they can take a look at it and get prepared for this show. Coming very soon. I think Monday. Here we go.
It came from Webtoon.
Yeah, it came from Webtoon.
With Eric and Mike.
Yeah. Eric and Odin. Yeah.
Hudson and Moden. Yes. There he is now. Mr. Eric, Dreaded Dinosaur.
Hey, how's it going, fellas?
Hey,
how are you?
There you go. How's it going?
Oh, it's going pretty good. Yeah, glad you played the new trailer there. I'll be joined by.
Looks awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of a project that kind of came together between me and Michael Odin, creator of Elysian Fields. He's a big Webtoon reader, and so we in looking around trying to figure out like what's cool to read, what's out there, and there's only a few shows kind of dedicated to like the big, paid content on there. But there's so many creators on there that are making really interesting stories. It's hard to fish through. So we decided let's fill a need. Then there's nobody doing reviews of these comics. So let's give that a shot. And we're going to be starting next Monday with a review of a comic called Outrage, which is done by Fabian Nesca, and I'm sure I'm butchering his last name. He's the lead artist on that. And it's a terrific tale about outrage, and it's a superhero thing, and pretty interesting stuff.
It's, that actually dovetails really well into a question that I had, Eric, and I'm glad you're here for it, because it is from someone who wrote in before on the show, and Dallas, I believe it was his name. Yeah, Dallas says, I'm thinking about starting a comic book review YouTube channel, guys. The only thing is, I've never put out a comic, and I don't have much industry credits to my name. Any advice or tips you can give me? And like you just said there, Eric, you spotted a need that maybe I can fill this need. The other thing, though, is that I've just because I'm cynical, is starting a network from scratch is difficult. Indie VOLT is 4 years old, and
our podcasting is almost 2 years old.
Right. The website itself is like 2-something years old. That's right. It's like almost 4, and it is very difficult to keep new content up there because if you can't pay writers big amounts of money, then they're not writing for you. Now the secret is this, guys. I'll be honest with you. Most of these writers online aren't making much money at all. But trust me. I got an email from a guy who's in music, they get mad. I guess in hip hop, they get mad when producers will sell the same beat twice to a different artist. So they'll go over to Eric, sell Eric the beat, then come over to me and sell me the beat. And it's like now me and Eric are racing to put our versions down on the track to get it out there first. And there have been producers who've lost their lives over that. But the thing is, it's hip hop, of course. But the thing is, you're starting to have that in writing and journalism, where you have journalists writing a piece and then, I sold it to this site, but now I'm going to come over here to this site and see if I can sell it again and again. And maybe I'll tweak a word or two here. But it's going to
change the headline.
Yeah, but it's going to be the same article, basically. And is there work that they have right to do that? Sure, especially if you're not paying for exclusivity. But at the same time, plus a lot of these sites actually pay by the word. I had a policy. I was willing to pay was it $5 to $10 a story, an article. And I went to a website and I looked up what they do, and they pay like 3-4 cents a word. And I was like, they still do that? I thought that was gone with the 50s and 60s. No, they're still actively paying.
It was like a penny a word or whatever it was.
Yeah. Some of them are, yeah.
They're and the writers have websites they use, wordcount.com, not just for students of college papers, but to figure out how much you're getting paid.
Yeah.
Hey, I did a 40,000 word article. I need that cash. So you got these some loquacious people.
What passes for writing and what passes for journalism nowadays, though, it doesn't say too much.
True. I'm lucky I got two or three people working for me for Indie VOLT who write articles when they can. And I'm very lucky to have them because they are professionals, and they aren't they're not winning any Pulitzers. But not yet. Pulitzers have to drop the bar just a little bit more, and we can probably get a Pulitzer. That'll be the day. Indie VOLT gets a Pulitzer. Oh my goodness! I'm gonna act like it's mine.
A Pulitzer for journalism.
Yeah. That's right.
Do they do that for comic sites?
They should.
They probably should, as long as it was a awarded on merit as opposed to a popularity contest.
If they do it, they will change the rules the very next day.
Some-
Looking at
Some
All
Dick
of- all
Johnson
award
out
shows
there
will be
trying to get money
popularity
all the time
contests.
or get a prize every year. Yeah,
Every award show is trash. It's all popularity contests.
I know.
It's
Yeah.
just people shaking each other's hands. It's ridiculous.
It's amazing.
yeah, I
Shaking each other something else.
Yeah. It's just
By the way, everybody, we're TVMA DLSV. So you may hear content here that little kids might not want to hear. So don't have them listen in with you.
But as far as starting a site, Dallas, I can tell you that it is rewarding. But if I could go back, I probably would not do it because of the mental anguish it has caused me. Financials aside, the mental anguish that running a news site causes is harsh. It's hard because
that is if you have any integrity.
right. Like Randy's talked me off the cliff a few times, and
Come on back. Just 2 steps back. That's all I do.
Yeah. Here's my trash book with garbage art and misspelled words. Can you please give this a positive review? I'll give you $20.
I remember.
That doesn't happen often enough. At least if they did, then Varian doesn't tell me about it.
No, yeah, that doesn't happen, dude. What I get is, so I get to
Indie Volt, by the way, is available for sponsorship.
Oh yeah, we'll write an it will say this is an advertisement on it though. But we will do that. But what I get is, hey, I get to approve this review before it goes live, right? That's what I get. I'm like, no,
Bribes are always accepted. What?
They get mad at me. So
yeah, when we tell them they don't want to, they have to approve of the review before you publish it. That's sad.
Yeah.
What have they got to hide? Never mind.
Yeah. Eric, what would you tell someone who told you today they want to start an independent comic review site?
Well, if other sites have told me anything, you don't need to know anything about the content you're even talking about to do this. And and I just think of the one chick I was telling you about who was trashing the creator of the original Cyberpunk game as like being some dumb white guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's totally like an awesome black dude.
Yeah.
And she couldn't even bother to like Google that before making a hot take. And it's like
she immediately took her profile, like she blocked her profile. You can't.
Oh yeah, she nuked her Twitter right away.
Yeah. Like, oh, I like an asshole. I'm gonna.
That's journalistic integrity and research for you.
It's like when somebody said, just some guy. It was actually not somebody. Mark Wade said just some guy was a white nationalist, and he's like,
they were saying the same thing about Zach.
Yeah, but just some guy was like, I'm black. What are you talking about? I'm a white nationalist. I can't even join. Even if I wanted to join, they wouldn't let. What are you talking? I want an apology, Mark Wade. I'm not sure if you ever got one.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure he did.
But it's
that would have been all over the place if he actually had apologized.
Breaking news: Mark Wade apologized. I had to be right next to my wife apologizing. Breaking news.
It reminds me of the meme I sent you.
Yeah. Randy, what would you tell?
Anyway.
What would you tell somebody who wants to start an independent comic news site today?
Well, I would say if you're not aware of the market, to get aware of the market, and if you're not aware of podcasting, be aware of podcasting. Look at what everybody else is doing. Try to get a hot take on it and make yourself unique, or just start off and get your feet wet and then figure out how to make yourself unique as you go along. But you have to have enough uniqueness and entertainment value to carry an audience. So, and speaking of that, what's our radio numbers, Varian?
Right now, let me go take a look. Hold on.
Come on, Japan, you can do it this time.
Yeah.
Ireland never lets us down.
Yeah, they well, right now they're.
Oh, sorry, Ireland, step it up.
Yeah, right now we're at 3451. So 34,000 listening. Thank you guys, appreciate it.
We appreciate each and every one of you out there. Thank you.
We're doing pretty well, but yeah, we can always do better. So let's go right now. Actually, it's Australia. I'm sorry, Australia, Ireland, and Dubai. Wow, look at that. I've never seen Dubai.
Yeah.
Dubai.
Yeah, I never seen
I just picked up a couple of friends last week from Dubai
Yeah. So
on my Facebook page. Yeah,
There-
great,
there you
great
go.
artists.
I
Yeah,
gotta tell you, the Dubai airport is astounding.
yeah.
It's incredible looking.
all of Dubai is
They have
from what I've
they
seen.
have, they have special rooms where you can go and just sleep at the
Yeah.
airport.
I long for the day when Indie Volt will be able to do a world tour where we're doing live remotes from all these places, and people who listen to us all over the world are coming up and shaking our heads. I've been listening to you since 2020.
Yeah. And yeah. Imperium Volt says, "Hail, hail, Indie Vultures, hail, Imperium."
Hail, Imperial.
Hell.
I would also tell you this: if you're gonna start a website with comic news, you may run into this problem. I didn't because I don't care, but somebody's gonna come to you on either side at some point and tell you to pick a side. Now, there's one particular side is gonna come to you and tell you that one side won't. But
We did pick a side.
yeah.
We picked the side of good comics. That's what we picked. If it's an awesome comic book, we want to talk about it. We want you to know about it.
But if you start a site today, they're gonna people tell you you have to
That's
pick
our
these
side.
guys. You have to be with these people because these people are the best people.
Stay
And
in your lane.
you don't want to be on the wrong side of history, do ya? And then
It's a great whiny voice. You've been listening to Sam Kennison, haven't you?
No, I just
Oh,
that's my son's whiny voice.
I wish we'd have done that
Look
radio
him up,
drama.
folks. Sam
No,
Kennison.
yeah.
We should definitely do a radio drama. We just need some good female voice actors. That's all to join us.
Well, there's that one guy we listened to today. Never mind.
Because it is so cool to do, and I've done it in the past with a local radio announcer here named Tom Sumner. We reenacted a few scripts, and it's just a blast to do. It's so much fun.
Yeah,
But you have to have people of all type. You have to have a real diverse crowd of voice actors in order to do it.
If I hold my throat right, I can make this voice for an extended period of time.
There is a and Tom plays them pretty often. We did the first 4 chapters of Flash Gordon, and I was like 4 characters at once, and most of the time I was talking to myself.
yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
Not unlike any other day.
Yeah,
Exactly. Not unlike any other day.
Meredith.
Only it was on tape and it was off of a script.
Hello, Meredith.
Hello, Meredith. How are you? Howdy.
It came from Meredith. I know some female voice actors. We'll definitely have to get in contact. We'll talk.
Well,
We'll
it
talk-
came from the radio. Yeah, you probably do need to talk to Varian about your broadcast because he's got a nice world reach, and if you're doing a quality product, he does want to put you on there.
And also, though, if you're starting a website, remember this too. And Randy, he made a joke about it earlier. I'm very bad for not advertising myself, not advertising that I own a publishing company, not advertising that I, can even hold a pencil.
One tweet that automates every once in a while.
Yeah. I'm very bad at because I never want to be like. I always thought it was like super tacky. I didn't want to like push my own stuff out there and say, "Hey, this is Indie Volt, Last Call Comics." I never wanted to do that, and so it's hard for me even still to even push Liberty Distribution Group on Indie Volt. Very difficult, because there are some people who again like they'll go and they'll say, "Hey, my name is Scott Allen. I'm sorry if your name is Scott Allen out there somewhere. I'm sorry, and this is." The Scott Allen comic review show. And Scott Allen's getting all these people on, but don't forget, Scott's also saying, pick up my book, or pick up my book, mine, above everyone else's.
Yeah.
And Scott has you on to push his book. And I never wanted to do that. I want to be the good guy and try to push people's books. And that's probably, it's probably to my detriment, but if you're going to start a site, keep those things in mind. And we'll see you in the nut house with the rest of us.
Sorry, I just made my site public. Brian is over there. Brian Germain made a few comments, but he picked them up in the chat again. So
yeah,
I just happened to notice down here it said can't post comments to some destinations. I'm like, ugh. There we are. JD Calderon is awake. Always pick the side of indie comics. Yes.
Yeah, we try
Actually,
to.
he's not awake. He's listening this evening. So.
Yeah, we try to pick the side of indie comics. So Eric, are you excited about your new show? Are you gonna? What time?
Oh, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. So yeah, the 9s. There we go.
Brian Germain says half of the time these products even have paid endorsement now at the bottom of the screen. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'll take paid. Now I know a site that takes paid endorsements, and for an extra tenner, the person won't put paid endorsement up there.
Yeah. The name of the show is what, Eric?
It came from Webtoon.
It came from Webtoon. 9 p.m. on Monday. Is it going to be every Monday?
We're going to try for an every Monday show. There's plenty of content to go around. And I know Michael wants to line up some creators for interviews as well. Because again, it's about pushing it's about pushing indie creators. Mm-hmm. And the Webtoon is a great platform because it's completely free. As long as you can produce your comic, you can get it on there. But getting an audience is really hard. Like, not to toot my own horn, but Dreaded Dinosaur Man is pretty good. I mean, it's a pretty good product. I've put a lot of heart and soul into it. But getting the audience, getting the eyeballs on it is really tough on Webtoon Canvas because you're in a sea of like 70,000 other people. And when you go in to update your Webtoon on a weekly, hopefully on a weekly basis, I try for a weekly basis, you're going to be up on the Webtoon Canvas new page until there's like pages and pages and pages of all the different Webtoons. Well, the ones who are new go all the way to the top of the stack, depending on their category, minus sci-fi. Mm-hmm. But if other sci-fi stories start updating the same time, then I just get ticked down, ticked down, ticked down, ticked down until I'm on another page. So you want to try to stay up there as much as possible because that's the best chance you're going to get any views. So we're hoping with this, it will be able to spotlight other creators. We are curating this. We're not just going to do anybody. It's got to be something of quality, something that really needs the attention, and try to get some creators on to talk about it. And yeah, but it's just, it's the thing is like, we read these, we know what we like. Other people are going to have some other suggestions, but there's nobody right now who's doing this type of thing for individual Webtoons. You'll get a show dedicated to a specific one, like God of High School, for example, or something where or whatever the Lore Olympus. I mean, that's like the biggest one on there, period. But those are all paid ones. Those creators get paid by Webtoon to produce the stories. They're the first ones on the page. They don't need the help. They don't need the exposure. So that's what this is about, is getting exposure to independent creators.
Well, you said no one's doing it, but you can best believe that someone right now is trying to figure out how to do a bootleg version of it right now, and they'll have Webtoon University.
That's fine. I'll come on and talk about Dreaded Dinosaur Man.
Yeah. Welcome to Webtoon University, everyone. This is my new show, and we're gonna help everybody who does Webtoon comics.
Well, you'd think that there'd be other sites out there trying to mimic what Webtoon is doing, especially if they've got 70,000 people.
There's Tapas, but that's pretty much about the only thing. There really should be, like, because Webtoon is Korean. Tapas, I don't think, is an American thing. I think it might also be a Korean thing, because the Webtoon, that's like the Korean. That's an American translation of comic or web comic from Korean language. But the format is perfect for the mobile world we live in. Scrolling on a tablet, scrolling on a screen, it's perfect for that. And there needs to be more of this. It's like I always hated Comixology because of the experience. Tap on a panel, it zooms. Oh, now I got to rotate my phone because it's a wide panel. That's just a terrible reading experience. This is not. We're already used to it by scrolling through our news feeds. It's the same thing. It's just perfect. Mm-hmm. Other American creators need to take a hold of it, because for me, for Dinosaur Man, this is a free place. People can come in, check out the story. If it identifies with them, it connects with them, boom, they can read the adventures, build up, and then I got my Indiegogo book that I'm hoping to launch in March, which will be a full 32-page story. But you're not going to know exactly what's going on unless you follow the Webtoon. So it's a great place to jump in, experience the characters, experience the stories, and then go to a printed book and toys and video games and whatever else bric-a-brac I can come up with for it. And all those things are they're in the works, but you've got to have the story to get there, and that's what the webtoon's for.
You've done something else too. You start doing I like to call deleted scenes, where you start putting those on your Instagram.
Yeah, I didn't really get a good response from it, so I want to play around with it a little bit more because I know Instagram changed their algorithm, and now it's more focused on the reels, so maybe that's where I need to do it. But the whole idea was like, want to know more? And you jump over to this social media where I've got exclusive content or whatever. It may end up that I just start doing that for my Patreon subscribers because I don't pay them any attention whatsoever because I'm just terrible at it. I'm just terrible at updating in general, but for something like Patreon, you want to create specific content for them. So I might start doing that kind of stuff. It's like, if you want to know more to this story, join the Patreon, and that'll help push that. Because it really, I think just because of the Instagram algorithm, it just didn't work out very well.
Yeah. Now I'd like to ask you guys from and this is a question for Indie Volt that was sent in. Again, I don't have cards, so I got to read these. And this one here is from Davis, and Davis wants to know if if we still think that social media, websites, and whatnot are still as important today as streaming for a creator is. I'll start first. Look, you got to have a home base. It helps to have a home base. It helps to have somewhere, even a store, people can buy your content. Keep this in mind, and this goes even for something that something that Eric said. YouTube can remove your content any moment. They decide that they don't like the way you look. They decide something that you've been doing is racist, or something that you said is problematic or hurt someone's feelings. They can take it down. I know a creator who had their entire comic taken down, and had their account suspended and lost all their views, all the subscribers. They lost that entire base because somebody got up there and decided they didn't like the sexual nature of the comic. And the comic comes with several warnings. When you go to look at Mr. Rusty's, my long delayed comic that's up there on Webtoons, the first thing that pops up, and I forget about it sometimes, is, whoa, there's a thing that says this comic contains adult material. That should be your permission to have that content up there. This person's content, I'm not going to call them out, but this person's content is not, while it is sexual in nature, it's not overt. It's not in your face. It's very like, it's wholesome damn near. I hate to say it, but it's.
Were there titties?
There were, but they were blurred.
Oh,
but I think the problem was that it was a lesbian relationship, and that may have offended some people. And so it had to come down. That person lost all their subscribers. And look, even if I don't like the content, from a business standpoint, you got X amount of subscribers. If you got 2,000, 3,200 subscribers and you lose them, that hurts. We joke about noticing we missed one subscriber. What? Someone unsubscribed. Who was it? What did I do? What did I say? I'll make it up to you, I promise. So when you go in there and see your account's gone, all your content is gone, your subscribers are out there, they have no way of finding you. They don't even know you're gone. It's not like Webtoon is going to send out an email to all your subscribers and say, hey, we got rid of Dreaded Dinosaur. If you want to contact Eric, you can do so at dreadeddinosaur.com on Twitter. He's gone. He's just gone. That's it. So you got to think about that. So that's why having your own website, your own .com, where you can tell people, hey, you can find me here, and drilling that into their head, and even having that store is important. But I talked enough. Randy, what do you think about that? Is it still important?
what was the question again?
Is it still important to have a website and social media, seeing as though we've all seemed to move over to YouTube to communicate as creators?
Yeah, absolutely. You need to have as much social exposure as possible. It just depends on how bad you are socially to have it. You know, you don't want to be over on Twitter all the time, hate trolling everybody. That's a good way to lose subscribers. You don't want to be on Facebook all the time either, doing videos every freaking day, because people get sick of looking at you. You know,
Yeah, you should get sick of looking at yourself.
You would, yeah, you would think so. That's one of the reasons you go over to the Zim Geek channel. You don't see me talking on that channel. I'll talk off camera, but because I don't like looking at me, I got a face made for radio.
Yeah.
So even being on here, especially at the beginning, was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You know, but right now, I love my Facebook page because I can scroll down through my timeline like I was boasting about earlier today. And, you know, there's a cartoon that I can't read that looks awesome.
Yeah.
From somebody in India or whatever foreign country that has friended me on Facebook. I love that. I love seeing stuff from other countries, even if I can't read it. I think it's incredible to see all of these great artists out there doing incredible work.
And it's funny, even if I can't read it, I generally understand it.
Yes.
It's very weird.
Most of the time, yes, but a lot of times it's a political campaign. Like they had a great cartoon today where somebody was kicking. It had 20 and a 2. All in the same kind of rock looking font on the side of a cliff, and a guy was kicking a coronavirus ball off of the cliff and replacing it with a shot for 2021. It's very ingenious, very fantastic cartoon.
Yeah,
you know, and I love seeing that kind of ingenuity.
Joe says, I'm not too keen on Webtoon's format as opposed to Comixology. Being on both, Webtoons delivers the content in a vertical panel-to-panel scroll, which does not give the same feel as a comic book or strip. He says, I get Eric's point, but it would be better if Webtoon made it scroll left to right as we read comic strips. I think, but again, I don't think they're going for the comic feel. They want you to do it on that phone. They want you scrolling like you would Instagram, Facebook. They want you. If Instagram and Facebook were scrolling left to right, they would do it.
Yeah. And for those creators who just put a single page up as one panel on Webtoon, you're doing it completely wrong. You've got those formats. You have to build it for the format for it to work. And the thing that I love about it is that you can build out time, so you can space out your panels and really build the anticipation, or build up a moment. Like in one of my scenes where Dinosaur Man gets hit by that car, we fade to black, and as you're scrolling, we fade back out. So it gives you that feeling that some time has passed. Yeah. He's starting to come to, or whatever. You know, that type of cinematic thing that you can get, which you can't. It's really hard to do that on a printed page.
They took away some features. There was an animation feature at one point. It looks like they've taken away a lot of it.
Yeah, it was in beta for a while, and I know our good friend that does the Psycho CK comic for Alterna, he was one of the first people on there on the States side to use that technology, but I think their servers just couldn't handle it. They just couldn't get the tool set done right, so it's largely been abandoned.
Yeah, obviously one of those features that they moved over to Comic Blast.
The magic button.
Yeah.
Magic button. Yeah.
Dave Supreme in the house says, "Hey, everyone. Hello, Dave.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Dave. How you doing? Hope you're doing well."
Brian Germain said, "As much as I hate Twitter, I believe that is a good place to get followers. You're short and sweet for quotes, images, and there isn't a limit to the followers, and there is no algorithm to stop people from seeing your feed. Here's the problem. I generally forget about Twitter, and I'll tell you why. Because I took Twitter off my phone. It's normally like when my phone gets full of pictures that I've saved, it's one of the first apps to go is Twitter.
Yeah.
And so I won't know that someone tweeted me until they tell me. And Twitter is a on-the-go mobile app. It's not an app that you're gonna, for a while, like sit at your computer and work on and do anything with. So I forget that Twitter exists sometimes, and I'll go in there and I realize that Eric sent me 20 messages. And I'm like, oh, I should probably answer these.
But as we've seen in these last few news cycles, if you're on Twitter and you don't say something that Twitter likes, Twitter can get rid of you.
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
All of these format platforms are doing that really badly lately.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's why, and it's still completely new technology. I'm going to mention some words that you guys are probably going to be like, what? But the blockchain, Web 4.0 coming up, it's all about decentralization. Using blockchain technology creates anonymity and uncensorable websites. And you can go, if you want to learn more, you can look at Unstoppable Domains. I bought a Dreaded Dinosaur domain through it. I haven't used it yet for anything, but this is like where the internet is trying to push itself off to decentralization, so you can't be censored. And I would love to see a Webtoon style thing built on the blockchain so people can tell the stories they want and everybody else be damned about it.
Oh, Eric, sounds like a job.
If only I could learn to code.
Yeah, it's it's almost too, and I would tell that
like I said last week, this is such a great time to be in comics. All you need is a couple of people out there with the entrepreneurial spirit, the know-how, of course, and the ability to the time to go through and build this kind of stuff. And it's like the field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. It needs to get done. Eric sees that need.
I want to say that there's also, though, in that entrepreneurial spirit is good, especially, but it seems sometimes like it's lacking in certain creators, because like when Eric was the first person to come and tell me about a new social media platform, and I said, really? Yeah. Okay, well, let me hop over now. I went and got on, was it Vero? That guy created it was on the phones only, Vero.
Oh, yeah, that one. It didn't work out so well.
I thought that was Vero.
I believe it's gone, but the minute it launched, I ran over there. I signed up all my companies. It took 40 minutes of my time, making sure all the companies were lined up, that we all had our Vero accounts and everything was good. And then nothing happened, and Vero's pretty much now.
Yeah. Well, Parler and Rumble are here to stay. They have got user bases now that are just tremendously huge. BitChute, Library, and a lot of those are actually built on the blockchain.
Yeah.
So your content can't be taken down, especially Library. And Library is a good place for you to archive stuff, even if you're not going to use it. Archive it there, because there's no power in the internet sphere who can go figure out that that's you and delete it. Well, it's built on blockchain technology.
The
power
issue,
can remove it.
The issue is that people, I've been approached already. Hey, why do you have an account on this network? And these are people who are creators who don't apparently understand why I would have my company's name on that platform. And for me, it's simple, and I've explained it, and I'll explain to anyone listening right now. You want to do that because even if you don't want to be on there for whatever your reasons, at least you have the name. No one else has it that can speak for your company as you morons.
It's kind of like in the early days of the domain names. Everybody was like, oh, quick, I got to go buy Coca-Cola.com. And so I can sell it to them.
It should be so simple. Your mind should automatically go to that. But I don't think that most of these people have the mind, have a mindset for business, so they don't understand why they need to do that.
You can find me under the heading Marvel Comics over at Parler.
There you go.
Just kidding.
But it's like, why not go get the name? Why not get your name, get your company's name as much as you get? I mean, you're gonna miss one or two, and that's fine. You could always say, "Hey, that's." I mean, you could always go fight the company and say, "Hey, this person is pretending to be my company. I need my name." And generally, the company will, fix it. But you can circumvent all that, but it's going to get the name.
Meredith said, "I didn't know you were on Library, Eric."
I've got an account, but I haven't posted anything, so I'm not really there.
He's there, but he's not there.
Yeah, but again, he's got his name. He's all locked in. So if he needs to move, or if he never decides to go there, he's got his name. He doesn't worry about somebody jumping up there being Dreaded Dinosaur Eric Hodson and putting out content that is against his brand.
Plus, look at it this way: we've got competition now in the social media sphere. That's serious competition. They don't like it, but we've been dealing with like this entrenched monopoly of Twitter, Facebook. Basically calling all the shots. So now that there's some decent competition out there, it gives people more voices, and that's what we want in this country, isn't it? We want everybody to be able to have a voice.
And you're seeing a lot of that negative branding coming out. Well, you can't be on that site because that's where all the so-and-sos are at. It's
like with Gab, but people are labeling Gab as white supremacist, and
they're doing that with Parler too. That's
it's not.
Where all the right wingers are. No, that's where the First Amendment's still being practiced. That's where it's at. That's why you're hearing all of this negative publicity. So there's people over there that are actually saying what they want to say. Yeah, some of those people are there, but
those people are going to be everywhere. Those people are in their midst.
That's what I point out. They were over on Facebook until a couple of years ago, real heavily. And they let them sit up there for years until they decided to take them down.
What's your video clip? Say any damn thing I want.
Don't tell me nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
I think that it's very important for our artists to, our creator to make sure that you get your name. Whatever platform it possibly is.
Nobody I've seen signed up for Glub yet.
There's Minds too is another one.
Yep, Minds. Locals.
That's a silent site, right?
No, not Mimes.
There's still audio for that site. No.
There's an email here from and
Mimes.com. People stop by, wave hello.
This is
yourself in a tight box.
This is from JoJo. JoJo says, is it just me, guys, or do you find an artist with their own personal printed paper a bit pretentious? First of all, JoJo, I feel attacked, and JoJo, you just don't know how vain I actually am.
He means professionally printed paper, not Sharpied.
Okay, that's different. I see people do that. He'll forgive me if I'm lying, but I believe Chris Enoch has his own paper.
It sure does save having to rule out an entire pad of Bristol board.
Yeah, right, but it's like it's got that person's logo. Like I think Jim Lee had some paper, but
it's branding, people. If you're a comic creator, you're a business.
No.
If Jim Lee's done it, I would imagine it would be pretentious. Yes.
Yeah.
No. You're pretentious if you point out that it's artisan hand woven paper.
Oh,
that's pretentious.
Exclusive. Yeah.
Or like there's this one particular watercolor artist who advertises having Japanese handmade paper. My buddy Josh and I, we looked behind the booth at a con once, and it's just a bunch of Arcos watercolor paper. He just tears the corners to make it look like it's raggedy.
Oh, that's
marketing. That's what that is. Marketing.
Wait. Yeah, there we go.
That, my friends, is the official grift of the week.
Just tearing the paper to make it look like it's official Japanese hand woven paper. It's
look at this ancient scroll that I just made that I soaked in coffee. We all do this stuff.
I do have is that here somewhere? I have the Constitution. It's funny. I have America's founding documents on the floor down here. I actually do.
So you're just like Congress.
Yeah, they're on the floor somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's
walking all over it.
Yeah, just I don't care about this stuff.
Joe D. McPhee says professional printed paper is just branding.
Right. I mean, I believe Chris Enoch has custom printed paper with his name on it. It's already got his name on it, and that's an official. It helps that's an official piece you got from him. I'm sure
Daphne Lage runs all of hers off of the printer.
Yeah.
Printer at home. Yeah, she runs blue line paper off. Yeah.
I'm surprised. Now Eric you had card size.
Yep, I made
Stock.
some cardstock. Give me a second, and I can pimp that.
Yeah, he had cardstock with Dinosaur Man on it. So it's about branding, guys. It's not being you're not being a sellout. Let me make your full
That's
screen.
the back of my 5x7 commission card.
Cool.
Yeah, 5x7. That's a, and I've seen that card in person. That's a pretty big size.
It's a nice thick stock. It'll hold a lot of media to it. It's got advertisements for the webtoon on it. It's got my power meter rankings, social media, all that garbage.
Cool.
Little blur. You gotta have fun with this stuff. You gotta personalize it, make it fun, because you are a business. You are your business.
I see your disability is set. Let me see. Is it on there? Is it disability is set to max? It's nice guy, intelligence, a little high there. Speed is
Yeah.
Apparently past a 1. Yeah.
yeah. Drawing he's almost at a 6. Yeah. But I have to make my own. I'm gonna turn mine up like
you don't even need to put speed on yours though.
No. I'm not putting speed on mine at all. It's gonna say rollability.
It's gonna have a decimal point in the front.
Yeah, 0.45%.
Special power rating for donut eating.
Yeah. You can't make me. Although my bio would say possession of the race card. You can't. I'll pay that one quick.
You'll have to have a special added boost for power drinks.
Oh yeah. Energy drink rating. Because,
drink rating.
That's what I was wondering. When I first started reading those stats, I thought about that. Guys, we always look at characters when we rate their power stats, right? Like Juggernaut, they rate his power stats, but they rate Juggernaut's power stats as Juggernaut, not as Kane Marco. So I started thinking about that. Now, where would you rate Popeye before or after the spinach? Because before the spinach, he's getting his ass whooped.
Well, the spinach thing was added during the Fleischer cartoons in order to give him a boost and to have something visual for them to show and demonstrate.
So could he kick ass before that without it? Did he just get mad? Yeah. He just got mad at Bluto and whooped his ass? Okay.
A big boxing match, or he was a big time sailor. That's why he had those big forearms.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't come from just anything.
I thought. Listen. He was in the Navy. I think
all of those ropes. Yeah, that's why he had the big anchor on. Yeah, he was a sailor. That's a real classic strip. First time you see him, somebody goes, "You're a sailor," and he looks at him like dumbfounded and goes, "You think I'm a cowboy?"
Yeah. Popeye was always one of my favorite characters, but I remember Popeye being also a cartoon that there were several things that made me want to stop drawing, because I would look at the backgrounds in the Popeye cartoon and say, wow, that looks so real. Not realizing idiot it was, or they were scanning, real like locations for the backgrounds.
Oh, in the cartoons, yeah, they were rotoscoping a lot of that stuff. But
yeah,
Popeye in the cartoons is completely different from the comic strip that you see today, which is way different from the original appearance of Popeye in Thimble Theater.
Yeah.
Because Thimble Theater originally used to be the story of the Oil family.
Yeah, Olive Oil and her family.
Where Olive came from. Olive had a brother named Castor, and every type of different oil that you can imagine, there was somebody in the family named after it.
Yeah, and she had a boyfriend, a fiance. Did she not?
That's where Bluto come from before, wasn't it? Bluto was there before Popeye, if I'm not mistaken.
And Popeye just came along and took her, and took the strip over too.
Yeah, he did. But that's, again, a lot of that was because Fleischer wanted to do Thimble Theater, and instead of animating all of the characters, just focused on the sailor.
That
sailor was real popular. So he would keep getting into boxing matches and whipping on people.
That sounds like a good episode of Sunday Funnies.
Yeah. That's called being Tommy Oliver, a Green Ranger. When you come in like, hey guys, I'm a new guy, and all of a sudden you're the most popular. I disliked the Green Ranger for so long. Red's her favorite color. I finally got a situation where the red was the leader. I was super excited, and people say, "What do you mean you finally got a time when the red was leader?" Red is leader in most cartoons. Voltron. They start naming off all these different cartoons, and I'm like, yeah, right. But my other thing was, and Alvin the Chipmunks.
Yep.
But My problem, and red is my favorite color, but I will never forget being sullied from Ninja Turtles. Like, how was Raphael not the leader? I don't understand why he's not the leader. This is stupid. He should be leader. And so
they all had red in the original.
Sure.
They were all red bandanas.
Sure.
Joe says great pick for Grift of the Week. But Pinson's in the house. As I know several at shows that have their own branded paper. Yeah.
See, I think nothing wrong with that. It's not pretentious.
Joe says tell Neil Adams that about his prints.
Neil Adams.
Power for using silver spoons.
Yes. I don't know. My spoon is up here somewhere. There it is. Yeah.
Came from the radio. Said even in the movie with Robin Williams, Popeye was strong before spinach. Yes. That movie, very underrated, very dry,
very much so,
very long, but so underrated.
Yeah, it's got a lot of musical numbers in it.
That and Dick Tracy, both they came out about the same time. Dick Tracy's got its own particular flavor and just a whole feel that's amazing. You sit back and watch it now.
Was it around the same time? I could have sworn Popeye was before that.
It might have been, but not by
much. Popeye's an older film, but not by too much. I think Popeye was like in the 80s.
No, it was right in there. Here, I can check it up, and I'm.
Yeah. We have all the information in the world at our fingertips.
It was right from. Well, you know how my memory's getting. I'm getting to be an old man, so. It was just yesterday to me.
I remember Dick Tracy in the theaters, and I remember laughing my butt off as Itchy runs past the camera when they got Dick Tracy tied up in the basement. 30 seconds, no more Dick. 30 seconds, no more Dick. And I think I must have repeated that for a whole year as a kid.
Okay, I have an embarrassing Dick Tracy story.
Oh.
So,
I'm very wrong. Holy crap! There's 10 years between Popeye and Dick Tracy. Popeye was first. Wow.
So the Madonna's character, what was her name? Who did she play in the movie?
Hang on, I can tell you.
I was at the question. It's not the question. Scarf? No, oh crap. Oh,
she was also blank, but like her female, that she anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So there was, the toys and stuff were everywhere. I was in a Venture or a JCPenney or whatever, and they had like a little bin of Dick Tracy toys, and there was this Madonna figure that had sewn-on fabric legs.
I have her.
With a plastic torso.
Yes, I have her.
And you can pull the dress down, and there's real nipples.
Yes. Wow.
I had this stuck in my mind where I was just like playing with this doll in the store, and I pulled the dress down and like,
that's incredibly cool. Breathless Mahoney is
Breathless Mahoney. Okay.
Yeah. I have all those Dick Tracy toys. My dad bought them for me, and then he took them because he said that they were collector's items. And so when he would go to work, I'd sit down there and play with them. And their hands are like plastic. They bend. You can bend their hands. They're very soft material, but it's plastic. But yeah, I had that Madonna toy, and her legs are fabric until you get to right under her kneecap. Then they put real legs on. She has some black heels. But yeah, you're right. You pull her top down, and she's got.
Who made that decision?
Yeah, and the worst part is, I hate to say it, also embarrassing mom about that toy. That toy may be the cause of a lot of artists, actually, now I think about it.
Knowing how things went back in those days, that might have been a condition in her contract.
It could have been.
She didn't want to be a nippless toy.
I didn't like holding the figure because if I held the figure around the torso, I could feel the little nipples poking into my thumb. I could feel them, and I'm like, this feels wrong, but also right. Like, I don't want to hold this toy anymore. But yeah, the hats didn't come off any of the male figures either. The hats were molded on.
Here's a stretch. It'd be like Flesh Gordon. Let me take a look at your tits.
I remember that. You showed that to me. It was. I remember that, and I was a big Dick Tracy fan, man. I had a lot of. It was a big dick. Somebody's gonna clip that.
Wow, I can't believe there was 10 years between those two films, because to me they came out in the same, right there in that same period. Because it was a lot of comic strip movies, I guess.
Was there drug use between that point? They should be lost 10 years.
Let me think here for a second. Oh yeah, there was a lot of drug use here in that period. Now that I think about it, yes, probably yes. But I would see both of them at the theater. I remember doing that.
Yeah. I remember seeing Dick Tracy at the theater, and I remember being super excited and getting the toys. And I thought the toys were cool because the toys they were the same height as my Ninja Turtles.
Mhm.
So even though I didn't cross figures that often, if I needed some humans, they were the humans walking around. And that was really cool. I remember having almost had an episode, but having a play session or the Ninja Turtles got turned into humans, and I used the colored bad guys to be the turtles as humans. Yeah, it was real bad. It was real weird. Anyway,
when I first went to the theater and saw Dick Tracy, saw it once. I said, that's it. That's enough. And never went back to see it again. But about 20, 25 years later, I'm catching it on one of the pay channels, the movie channels. And I'm like, wow, this is really ingenious. This is kind of cool what he did with colors and real basic colors and large swatches of them all over the place.
Did you not like it?
I didn't know. I didn't like it the first time it was out, but every time I watch it now, I'm just more enamored by it because it's an amazing piece of it's very different cinema especially from the cinema that was out in the day, because there was some definite costume choices and all of the characters are awesome. The makeup work and all that is just incredible.
You can tell that they really relied on the source material for it.
Well, Beatty owned the rights and he directed that film, and he wanted that. He's been one. That's why you don't see another Dick Tracy movie out now, is because he bought the rights for that film. He won't let anybody do it.
Yeah, I bought a Dick Tracy.
He's very protective of that property.
I bought a Dick Tracy the series on DVD and brought it home and said, "Hey, I'm gonna watch these cartoons," and I'm so upset.
Is it the cartoon or the serials?
It's a cartoon. It's a cartoon, but it's okay. I'm so upset.
It's not
the damn dog.
Dick Tracy.
Dick Tracy's in there for like 20 seconds each episode, and the dog goes out and solves all the crimes.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, what is this crap?
Sorry.
I want to see Dick Tracy. What is this?
That sounds like a very narrow licensing agreement.
Yeah, probably. Well, you know what the kids like? The kids like a dog. They don't want to see a big guy detective dude. They just want to see a dog. There used to be an Archie TV Funhouse, I think it was called, where it was Archie sitting at a control panel, and they would play all these really short clips of these classic comic strips. Beetle Bailey was in it, Little King. Dick Tracy was part of that. And those Dick Tracy segments I remember real fondly because he would keep running across all the oddball villains. That was a pretty interesting show. And then Archie was like Dick Tracy on your cartoon. They would sit back at the control panel and turn different things on and maybe have a little story that bookended the episode.
I remember on the DVD though,
like Broomhilda and BC were in that, if I remember right.
On the DVD I have, there is a sticker that warns some of the racial stereotypes.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Because there's an Asian guy in there, and he's very stereotypical for the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, ooh, and I remember watching it, and I'm saying, we couldn't do that today. It's funny. My son came to me and asked me, "What is wampum?" I said, "Nothing is wampum." Because he's reading one of these old books. I gotta start giving my kid old books.
Well, you just gotta.
You just missed a perfect educational opportunity there.
Exactly. You shouldn't hide that from him. You should point out that it was an incorrect term that meant whatever, and it was used as a derogatory whatever, and that's back then. And we know better now.
I thought that was the drug they smoked.
I think wampum was like money or something like.
Yeah,
like I the line in the comments,
big wampum. Yeah.
There's a you trade him wampum, I give you girl, and it's like whoa, and I'm like, I'll put this comic up, son. You don't need this.
Just think of a lot of those old cartoons were horrible for that, but it was a sign of the time, part of the context. Look at the Go Gophers. Remember them? That might be before your time too.
Yeah, my beliefs, my cartoons start with the Smurfs and the gummy bears.
Long before your time, then. I was watching Underdog back when it was a super energy pill, not a super vitamin pill.
Yeah. When he's popping pills,
popping them right out of the ring that he carried with him. I'm in trouble. Need some speed.
Grandpa's Comic Con says, I own all the Dick Tracy films from 1940s. Dick Tracy versus Gruesome is great. Boris Karloff is an excellent villain. And I've never seen any of those.
Well, those started out as movie serials that were chapter, and then they cut them into movies. There's a lot of them out there that, especially back during the VHS days. Levi Krause, hey buddy, how you doing?
He says he's a little late, but speaking of paper, long ago I got a hold of some of the Comic Company Innovations paper, and I've never found anything that even compares to the quality of that branded paper.
Yeah. Levi, thanks so much for listening, buddy. Haven't heard from you in a long time. Hope you're doing well. But they would take those back during the TV days, and they'd cut out the chapter endings and starts, because those serials used to run for 10, 20 minutes in the front of regular movies back when you'd spend the whole afternoon on Saturday before TV. You'd spend the whole afternoon at the theater, and they'd show you a chapter play before the main feature in order to keep you coming back. So they did like whole runs they did every like merchandisable character of the day that you can think of. In fact, Captain Marvel was the first superhero to be shot live action. He was shot live action as a chapter play. And it ticked DC off so much that they threw Captain Marvel into court, because they had tried a cease and desist on them years ago, and it got tossed on a technicality. And they were working on taking them back to court. But as soon as that chapter play popped up, they were extra pissed, and they threw them. They tried to throw the book at Fawcett and Captain Marvel, because that serial was so good. But there was a Captain Marvel. There was like 3 or 4 Supermen. One Superman was able to be filmed because Fleischer did the cartoons, had the rights to it theatrically. So that also ticked DC off until they rescued the rights. There was a Captain America serial. There was a Vigilante serial. There was a bunch of Zorros and Lone Rangers, I believe, were all serialized. The Spy Smasher serial, which was amazing because it was so cliched, really bad cliffhangers, that kind of stuff. That's where Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers first come out in those serials. You still see those every once in a while, broken up into different chapters. Just some really classic stuff. Those old serials, they got pretty formulaic. Some of them did, but some other ones were done incredibly well and very crafty, considering the budget that they were under, because they had like the old style Doctor Who budgets. So you had smoke with the ships going off with smoke trailing in the air and all sorts of real cheap cardboard effects. But for what the budget they had, they did a lot of amazing things with it.
Speaking of someone with an amazing budget,
there we are. JD
Calderon,
welcome.
Who sank millions and millions into comics, owning, collecting, making.
This is awesome. Levi's making comics. Levi, you should get a hold of me, buddy. If you'd like. Well, we should do comics, man. Levi, you're amazing. So
Denny says great info. I remember when Popeye didn't eat spinach. I never known Popeye not eating spinach. In fact, apparently when I was 4. I was requesting lots and lots of spinach because
they sold a lot of spinach because Popeye ate it.
Yeah, I was requesting it because there was a girl next door. Even at 4, I had a crush on, and I was at 4 years old. I'll never forget, her name was Dyra, and I told my mother I want spinach because when a bully messes with Dyra, I want to beat him up. And she said, "Okay, here's your spinach," and I would probably give myself an upset stomach, and I'm gonna eat all this spinach and get diarrhea. Yay!
Joe says Randy's over and he doesn't know about the Tennessee Tuxedo show. No,
that sounds perverted.
Oh gosh, I love Tennessee Tuxedo.
Tennessee. Yeah,
I've seen that.
No, Chumley.
Yeah.
It's voiced by Don Adams. The guy did great. Get Smart.
Yep. And the amazing 3D BB, the 3D blackboard.
Yeah.
The little learning segmented. Oh,
that
is my jam.
Really Sunday Funnies episode, right?
I remember watching Get Smart and telling my dad, this is Inspector Gadget. And my dad said, no, Inspector Gadget is Get Smart.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. But then I started watching that and developed a crush on not Moneypenny. What's her name? 69, not 69. What's her name? His girlfriend and
Isn't it 99?
99, yeah.
Barbara Feldon. Yeah.
Big crush on 99. I
And again, dude, first year of laughing. She's all over that.
I remember my dad said, "So wait a minute, you like he should have known." He's like, "So you got a crush on Agent 99 and Mary Tyler Moore?" Like, what is wrong with my son? Now
I have to break this to you. Everybody had a crush on Mary Tyler Moore. Just the way
did
it
they?
worked.
Okay,
Oh,
all
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
It's
the way it
funny.
worked. Especially when the Dick Van Dyke Show, when she got her voice all trembly and oh, Rob, you felt so sorry for her.
Yeah, Rob.
Yeah.
Nah, my favorite crush was always Linda Carter.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, that came later. Yes, absolutely. Everybody crushed on Linda Carter too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
Mark says Flash Gordon Conquers the Universe, 1940, was George Lucas's major influence for Star Wars. He did Star Wars because he couldn't get the rights to Flash Gordon. He said, okay, I'll do it myself.
My oldest crush, Diana Rigg, the Avengers.
Yes. Amazing.
yeah.
Levi, thanks, Randy. You're my hero. No, Levi, I've always enjoyed your stuff. So, your drawing. TCM right now is running Popeye 7-minute shorts. Yes, they are. Every Saturday at 10 a.m. The really early pre-World War II ones before spinach. Yeah.
See, well, spinach, man, it's just not Popeye.
And he was the too adult themed and violent. That's why they made Popeye eat spinach. Yeah. Well, back then, see, they made the cartoons for the theaters, and they knew everybody was watching them, and a lot of the adult humor would go right over the kids' heads, but the adults would catch it. See, a lot of Looney Tunes are like that. That's why they're so timeless.
Yeah, because Bugs, she dresses as a woman very quickly.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that you'd never see them do today, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Bugs was definitely a cross-dresser.
yeah. And Pepe taught you no matter. Pepe taught me.
Kept kissing Elmer too.
Mhm.
Elmer Fudd.
Pepe taught me that sometimes no can we turn to yes. Just be persistent.
Persistence, yeah.
And Pepe Le Pew should be brought up on charges. Watching it today,
Yes,
I'm like,
anymore. Yes, he'd be in trouble for sexual harassment. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, watching him.
That cartoon would be 30 seconds. The cat with that got the white stripe accidentally painted down her back would serve him papers like right away. Chickadee, you've given me a letter of love. What is this? A sexual harassment claim? Holy crap! You're done.
I must go to the court.
I must go to the court. Yeah.
I am being charged. Oh man, yeah. Yvonne,
Grant Lankard liked Rhoda. Yeah.
Yeah. Then he said, Popeye also assisted in children eating spinach. He did, because I was the fool sitting there eating it down. Like, I gotta get big and strong, Mom. I gotta get. Thank God I didn't see Incredible Hulk. Could you imagine a little variant standing in front of the microwave? Gotta catch these gamma rays. I'm gonna get big.
Hello, Heather. Thanks for listening. Appreciate you being here. Yvonne Craig. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll tell you something else my dumbass did as a kid.
I just shared a picture of Yvonne Craig on one of the pinup group sites. It got a lot of likes.
This is super embarrassing. I'm going to share it here. My wife knows this story. She jokes about it every we go on Target or Walmart. So in like 83, 84, I found the commercial. There's a Fruit of the Loom commercial where they start making Transformers and G.I. Joe and He-Man Fruit of the Looms. Well, the little boy in the commercial would put on a pair of the underwear and he would turn into that character. So I remember him putting on the underwear and turning as Optimus Prime. And, I was like, and I'm a kid, I'm stupid, and I'm impressionable. Keep in mind, I gotta be like 4. And I'm looking at this like, this is awesome. This guy just turned to He-Man with these underwear. I begged for these draws. I want He-Man Fruit of the Loom. My parents, both factory workers, said, not a problem. Hey, he wants clothes. The boy wants clothes. He doesn't want a toy. He wants clothes. Well, I got these drawers and I ran into my bedroom with them. I think I must have had my pants down coming through the hallway. Like, I'm going to put these drawers on, turn to He-Man.
Mm-hmm.
And I carefully selected which He-Man I wanted. I want to make sure you had the sword. And I put those drawers on. I snapped. And nothing happened. I even snapped the waistband 2 times because I wanted, maybe that's what needs to be activated. That's what I need to do. Pop, pop. Nothing happened. I was so dejected. I should sue Fruit alone. I should sue them for tricking little 4-year-old Varian. I was supposed to be He-Man and go save Tila. They ruined it.
So you had the power, huh?
I didn't have shit. They didn't give me anything. They didn't even give me a sticker in there. That'd have been nice. Hey kids, sorry we lied on the commercial. Hey, stop laughing. That was a simple child, very simple. Y'all stop laughing.
Papa ate spinach because a vegetable company started sponsoring the cartoons, and it was added, and it stuck. Yeah. And Yvonne Craig in the Batgirl suit. Yep.
Oh yeah.
That raises a lot of happy thoughts. Joe D. McPhee or out of it. Yeah. Or out of it. Same for Julie Newmar, Lee Merriweather, and Eartha Kitt. Eartha Kitt especially. She was purry.
I didn't
always enjoyed that.
I'm trying to think which Catwoman I liked more. It may have been Lee Merriweather. Who was the first one?
I think Lee Merriweather was Catwoman in the cartoon, or not cartoon, in the movie.
Okay, then it might have been Julie Newmar was my favorite.
Yeah,
I like the way she would stretch over stuff, and I was like, oh yeah, that's the stuff. That's the stuff.
Eartha Kitt had that voice though.
They did a funny thing in the Batman 69 DVDs, the cartoons.
Yeah.
They do this funny thing where I was like, well, which Catwoman are they going to use? And there's a scene where Batman gets hit in the head and he sees all 3 of them.
That's cool.
And they're all talking to him, and he's like, huh? And it's each voice. And I don't know where they got the Eartha Kitt voice from. They might have did Hurley. They did, is it Don Rickles for Toy Story? They went back and got old footage from stuff he had been in because by the time.
Yep.
But yeah, it was really cool that they did that. What's this? Danny says, I have a theory about Inspector Gadget. Penny is not Inspector Gadget's niece. Dr. Claw is, and Penny is a child prodigy who was a scientist along with Brain, whose consciousness is transformed into the Beagle Hound, who assisted in creating Inspector and the organization to thwart Inspector Gadget. That's a pretty deep theory.
Deep.
That's a very deep theory.
Those were under
Were they under
Gadget next time.
I just ran a video the other day on my Facebook page about a guy in Aquaman Underoos.
Yeah, well, Underoos
for the public. Yeah,
Underoos owes me some money because I was super excited to go home and change into He-Man, and
laughed my ass off.
They're all laughing at me because I couldn't.
Says Varian, my wife did the same thing when she was a kid, only wearing her Wonder Woman Underoos.
See,
how many girls got dizzy spinning trying to become Wonder Woman?
Well,
I know it'll work.
Randy, the guy I showed you earlier said that he tried to change his clothes.
Say what?
The guy earlier that I showed you, the doctor. There's on the comic book documentary.
Oh yeah.
He mentioned spinning. He tried to spin. He was a big fan of Wonder Woman growing up, and he tried to spin, change his clothes, and he would get very dizzy. And yeah.
Eartha Kitt first, run out into Newmar, then Lee Merriweather. That's not the way I remember it, but I could be wrong. I thought Eartha Kitt came in after Julie Newmar.
Yeah, I thought Eartha Kitt. She did one episode. What were you about to say, Eric?
I said I was just going. I'd run out into the yard with anything I could think of that was a sword and say I had the power when I was a kid.
Yeah, I could jump up and.
Sorry for the typo. No
I have the power. Oh, and the other thing the stupid young Varian did.
Tied a towel around your neck and jumped off the house.
No, I never did. I was always told. My father made sure. After watching me at the Underoos, my father made sure that my dumb ass knew I couldn't fly. But one thing that he told me, and I think he must have realized something special. At the party, which is a convenience store for people who aren't in Michigan, at the convenience store around our bodega, as JD might know them as, they're bodegas in New York, right? They're not. You guys call convenience stores, or?
Let me tell you something. If it's not run by a Puerto Rican or a Dominican, it's not a bodega. It's just a grocery store.
Okay, all right. Well, these little, put it this way, these what can we call them? These corner these corner robber ATMs. Where if you're a robber, that's what you hit for some cash. They had probably bootleg from China. They were very soft plastic, Sword of Omens, and they were small ones. They were mini, so it was like having Lionel's mini version of it. And they had these swords, and they were like no more than like $1.99. And this is an 80s money. $1.99, maybe $2, maybe $3. And I wanted one because my little cousin had told me they got a new one out that grows. And I said, so I ran to the store and I got this Sword of Omens and came home and did the Thundercat thing, and it did not grow. And I was very upset. Also, Varian Grant is a weird kid who apparently was a shelter, did not understand when he was getting grifted on by his toy companies.
Now, were you still 4 years old? Because 4 years old, 4 seems to be a traumatic year for you.
It was. I think I was like 4 because I remember being in my old house, and that's why I remember some of this shit. Like, no, because by the time I got to the house that I grew up in, I was a lot smarter and more cynical. You know.
Was that the really fancy pants house you showed me one time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like when they show up, they come and say, "Hey, you gonna you know?" So it's like when they come up and say, "Hey, look at this," and that shit doesn't work. Whoa, kid. Whoa.
Variants 5 in kindergarten. I've seen some shit.
Yeah. I've seen things. You think that Batman light is gonna shine? It's not. Yeah, you want a smoke effect? You have to get dry ice. Guess what you can't get, kid? Dry ice.
You're telling dry ice now. It has batteries.
Yeah.
Brian says True Eartha Kitt was season 3 the most convincing Catwoman in terms of the sassiness and voice. And he says you watch those Underoos TV commercials now, and they are cringy and inappropriate as fuck.
Yeah, they are. I've watched some of them. I'm like, we can't. You can hear it.
I do love those YouTube channels that have like archives.
I don't know about that, Jody.
Commercials. I just love watching those old commercials.
Yeah. There's a channel on Roku called Surprising American Ads, and I like watching it because it's just all these inappropriate commercials, and it's like from the 70s and further up. I thought Confederate States of America, those fake commercials from Confederate States of America were bad. We were damn near there. You know, they would have commercials with a guy that walks up and says, I remember they had a commercial about this rice, and they had a Chinese character walk up, big, buck tooth, and he's like, you should try this, rice. It's this and it's that with the big thick accent. And I thought, oh my goodness, there was one with pinto beans. And I felt so bad. I'm like, oh my goodness. Because the guy's like, hey, Holmes. And then he's like, Holmes, but hey, ma'am, try these. And he's got the big sombrero on his head. And I'm like, no, you can't do this. And then I started thinking about like Speedy. I'm like, oh shit, Speedy is racist as hell. Like, Speedy is racist as hell when you think about it. He's like, he's always running.
You made me think of an old Stooges, one of my old favorite Stooges gags, where they were in Mexico looking for this woman named Esta, and they kept going around to people. Have you seen Esta? See Esta? Oh, thank you, Steve.
Okay. Yeah. I used to think it wouldn't be so bad until they get to blacks in cartoons. Let me tell you something. Boy, oh boy, did we get dead bad in cartoons. If there was a watermelon involved, I'm like, watch this gag. I can call it. He's going to eat the watermelon and spit the seeds. Watch. And it could be 5 different cartoons. And that's exactly what First of all, you know how hard that is to do? I've tried. It didn't work.
But the sound effect was a machine gun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it like the same deal with the Underoos?
No. I tried that when I was much older. I wanted to prove a point. Although I did have a friend who, her father had told her that on Martin Luther King Day that we eat chicken and watermelon, and he was telling the truth. So she asked me about it, and I think the look I gave her, she went home to, you lied to me. Now I'm very racist. Think very knows now. No. I have a question for you guys from Indie Vote Radio. And this is
Eartha Kitt was last.
Was she? Yeah, I thought she was the last one.
Yeah.
From Indie Vote Radio, quick question.
Lee Merriweather was Catwoman in the movie. Julie Newmar was Catwoman first in the TV show, and then she was replaced by Eartha Kitt.
I recently made a post, and this is from Kevin ? Man of mystery. He says, I recently made a post looking for artists to join my company. I was laughed at and insulted on the board, and I don't know if I want back in that group. How am I supposed to gather artists to work on these properties and build this company if all I'm getting is ridiculed and made fun of? Yeah, and made fun of by these people. What am I supposed to do? Kevin, let me ask you a question. And you can't answer. But did your post say anything close to, hey, guys, I got a new comic book company and we're gonna put comics out and send your art in, and that's it. People, the first thing artists are gonna say is how much. They're always gonna ask you how much. You might as well lead with how much you're paying.
Yeah.
That way you get all of that BS out. It's all done. You don't have to worry about it. Hey, we're paying whatever the amount is. I'm paying $35 a page. I got a book. Who wants to do it? At $35 a page, you're gonna get somebody. You're gonna get that person there who I wouldn't for $35 a page. Screw that guy. There's somebody who will. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you lead with how much you're looking to do. But if you go in there and you're like, hey, I got a new company and it's terrific and we're gonna be famous and rich. Look, they've all seen this before and they're gonna pick fun of you. Eric's the first one to screenshot and send it to me. Hey, look at this. We sent it to each other. I think I just sent Eric one last week.
Yeah.
There's a guy saying, hey, check out my company. It's great. Ever seen the Chinese Jello commercial from 1962? Most race television commercial ever done. I did. I know. Yeah, the ding, 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 ding. Oh, it's horrible.
Even more racist than the Frito Bandito.
Yeah. This one is bad. This one bad. Do you remember Cherry Clan candy?
For what?
Cherry Clan.
No.
Oh, you didn't grow up black.
Clan with a K?
No. Okay. That would have took a whole new meaning on Cherry Clan. I will show them to you guys, and you can buy a box of them, original vintage 1983 box of Cherry Clan candies for $200.
Just imagine what that tastes like.
Probably tastes like regret and sour apple. Here, I'll put.
There's a few on YouTube that show great 70s and 80s TV commercials along with the 90s. Yeah.
There we go.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, I remember those things. Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
They were really hot.
He says, Ben, what is that on your back? It scared the shit out of me. It looks like a hand. Oh, is it the my tail from the hat? It's probably the tail. There's the candy. Cherry Clan candies. And you see those little cherry faces on those cherries?
Yeah.
You can't do that today.
Nope.
No. You will get. Like, they're probably gonna take this video down now. Twitter's gonna be Facebook's gonna not Facebook. Well, Facebook will take it mad, and then YouTube will. You show Cherry Clan candies. Well, they're delicious.
Take our chances, I guess.
They're delicious. In fact, now I want some. It's horrible. I want Cherry Clan. Anyway,
but
what is,
to get back to that question, Varian.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what the guy needs to do is a Kevin ?
Yeah.
I think what he needs to do is, if he's really serious, he needs to go through a website like DeviantArt, and then what's the other one? ArtStation.
Mm-hmm.
Go through those websites, cherry pick, go see who you want to work with. Don't just wait for people. Go check them, and then ask them, "Hey, what's your rate?" And then see if they can fit in your budget. You can even negotiate a little bit, but you got to go in there. You got to do that footwork. Just don't throw it out in the open forum, because 9 times out of 10, all of those people are looking for people. So they're gonna shout you down and be like, "Oh, this guy's just one of those."
Yeah.
So you just might as well go out, cherry pick, find the people you want to work with, and then see if you can negotiate a deal.
And the more local people that you can work with, the better. That way you can get together and have direct contact. The thing that depending upon what restrictions you have in your area, you might even drop a note or a copy or poster at your local retailers and saying that you're looking for artists with your phone number to see if there's anybody serious that'll collaborate in there with you that's local.
I did that with my first company. I made a bunch of flyers, took in the comic stores and put them out. And you get all
not everybody that's going to apply has got any type of talent. So you do have to be picky and tell people that you're not what I'm looking for or whatever. But yeah,
you learn to break some hearts.
So Varian, were you picky?
Not at first. But the funny thing is that in that particular situation, it was such a big group. I remember going into our first big group meeting, and I had to rent a room, and I rented the conference room. And the guy who owned the building came down and says, "Varian, I open up the other side because you needed more space." And I said, "What?" And I went downstairs, and the girl who was my secretary said, "I gotta run. I gotta go to Hungry Howie's. I gotta get more pizzas."
Oh my God.
And I'm like, "Wait, I bought 5. What do you mean you got?" So there's 40 people in there.
Wow.
And I'm like, 40 people, and I'm like, I didn't hire any people. And I walk in there, and I'm like, holy crap, there are 40 people in here, and then you instantly feel. But the thing is, a lot of people weed themselves out. A lot of people they don't produce, they can't produce. Some people just were there because they were interested. I think too, they wanted to see how the sausage was made, and there wasn't quick money there.
Are you doing a comic book company? I want to do a comic book company too.
Yeah, I likes to draw. Here you go. Here's my drawings. I draws Dragon Ball Z. Can we do a Dragon Ball Z comic?
I used to catch real good in high school. Yeah.
And how many people came up to us at shows and would tell you they're wonderful, like this is the greatest thing ever. And would you draw it? Like, how much money? I mean,
yeah. I just think it's great when they can. I had a guy come to me. He was like, "I got this great story. I'm gonna sing you the script." I'm like, "Yeah, man, go ahead, send it. I'll look over the script for you." And I open it's like Xavier's Mansion. I'm like, "Oh, that's you may want to change that name." Then Logan's walking through the hall and Gene, and I'm like, "There's not a Scott in here." Oh, there he is. Oh, wait a minute. Whoa, this. And I remember reaching out to him and saying, "Hey, did you send me the right script?" I remember because I didn't want to be offensive. I'm like, "Did you send me the right script? You said this is an X-Men book." "Yeah, that's what I wrote." "Would you be interested in publishing?" And I'm like, "I can't publish an X-Men book. That's Marvel. What do you? What? I can't do that." And he was so upset. And like no, you don't understand. I have an X-Men story I want to tell him. Like, you have to go to Marvel, and they're never gonna take this, by the way, ever. And he was really upset with me because I didn't get his vision, but I don't think he understood the way the law works.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. You can do the book if you wanted to. He just can't make any money off of it.
right.
Yeah.
Brian Germain says, and there are literally hundreds of other groups, though a lot of the same people are in those groups. So be aware.
Yeah. So you post in one group, you go to another one, you get the same person
around. Yep.
But you're going to get the same amount of haters who are going to be like, "Hey, I seen you another. You're back in this group now. No one wants to work with you. Go away." It's going to happen. I mean, you're going to get picked on. You're going to get all kinds of stuff.
Varian, I got a question for you. So, out of
Does
that
look
group
weird,
of 40
and he doesn't.
people,
Yeah. Sorry.
Did any of them stay in comics other than yourself, obviously?
Oh shit!
Somebody practiced the cello back there.
Yeah. I think that's Eric's house, right? The cello, right here.
Yeah.
There is one, probably much to Eric's chagrin, that's still hanging around, and that I brought in the comics. Yeah. There's only one person that's still hanging around that I brought in the comics, and the rest of them have they either come back every couple years and, hey, I'm gonna be at Motor City Comic Con, yeah, and they'll, okay, I'm done for the year. I've did my grift, my yearly grift, or but there's only one. Everyone else kind of just drifted out. Some took a while. Some took about 5 years to work themselves out. And it was funny because Varian didn't pay me. Well, Varian couldn't pay you. You people were stealing from Varian left and right. You stole the money I was going to use to pay you with. That's why we don't have it. And yeah, and they would get mad, but it's funny because then they started realizing there's no money in comics. There's no money in comics. I'm out. Screw this. But there's a couple of.
How dare you?
Some of them were talented. Some weren't as talented as you think they are. But yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, I'll never forget the advice that Doug Paskowitz gave me. He's a publisher, creator of Arsenic Lullabies, big time indie guy. He just said, "Don't give up, because eventually everybody else around you is going to give up, and you'll be successful."
Yeah, yeah. And that's what Look, eventually, the cute girl is going to notice even who you are, right? That's what I keep thinking. Like, I'll just keep sticking around. A lot of these guys, though. Guys and girls, there was a couple females that, they left, and there was one in particular. I think she gave her company an unfortunate name, by the way. She shouldn't. Now she's probably really regretting that. But yeah, she left, and she didn't hang on that long.
Sorry, I'm just getting all these names rolling across in my mind. Yeah. I'm like going, don't say it, don't say that, don't say that.
Yeah.
So see you next Tuesday, comics.
I'll tell you when we're off there. We'll be off the air in a couple minutes. Okay. Yeah.
Right. Just to add to that. I mean, the best name I ever heard for a company. It was my favorite. I mean, when the guy pulled out the comic and showed it to me, I said, "I got to buy that from you." It was called Buster Nut Comics. That was my favorite name of a comic book company. Buster Nut Comics.
And there was
a squirrel. He had a squirrel in it. It was hilarious.
And his name was Buster.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
That's hysterical. I like that. My first company.
Yeah.
My first company was called Unlimited Psycho, and it was only called that because I took the name from a misheard lyric. And Stone Cold Steve Austin's entrance by Disturbed. It sounds like they're saying Unlimited Psycho. And I'm like, that's a cool name. I'm gonna take it. I named my company Unlimited Psycho, and that's why I had that name. But yeah, I will tell anybody starting a company, you're gonna get hate on social media, you're gonna get hate all around. Just make your comic. If any advice I can give you, keep your team small at first. Keep your team very small. The more moving parts, more people. I had so many snakes within the company that were moving around, that were, taking advantage of me and talking behind my back and planning things behind my back. Planning damn near coups behind my back. We're gonna take over. We're gonna lock him out of his own goddamn office. It's gonna be what?
With your publishing company.
You said what?
You still have that with your publishing company.
Yeah. But now it's just me, and I occasionally let people in, and I learn to regret it. But yeah, it's just keep it small, keep it very tight. Work with professionals. Work with people who know more than you, so they can teach you. There's always people willing to teach you. First person I met in comics that was making them was Eric. One of the first people I met. It was Eric, Scott Zambelli, I believe. Is it Jeff Balke? Balke? I forget how to pronounce his last name. Some of the first people that I met, and that were, they would talk to me. You go to the table and they'll talk to you, and then they sell you a book. They're like, "Yeah, hi, we'll talk comics." I'm a book kid. You standing here, you took 5 minutes of my time, buy my book, and that was fine. So I would do that. I got introduced to Randy through a gentleman named Jesse Mercer, and I bought Randy's book.
Couldn't even tell you who that is. Probably know him on site. But.
Yeah, Randy will know what. Go ahead.
I remember when I first started in comics, like I said, it was me and a group of kids who were all like 16, 17, and 18 years old. And they were all in art and design. We started drawing comic book pages on 11 by 17 sheets. right? So it was the full sheet instead of it. No, excuse me, 14 by 17 instead of it being 11 by 17. So it was this huge Bristol board, 14 by 17. We filled the whole thing. And then I remember one of the people, you probably know is Buzz. He went to art design. And he was walking by. We knew who he was. Hey, what's up, Buzzy? We came over. He was like, guys, a little piece of advice. You might want to cut those few inches off and make it 11 by 17. And we were like, really? He was like, yeah. And then he showed us a page. We were like, oh, okay.
Like, how you learn.
Exactly. It's like, thanks.
Yeah. We're gonna like idiots. Make me told us. Yeah. I remember a buddy of mine. I told him, I said, I got to go to this. I got to go to the comic. The only place that sold 11 by 17 boards was a comic store named Green Brain Comics that I knew of that sold 11 by 17 boards. They were already lined. And I told my buddies, I got to stop by Green Brain. I got to pick up these boards. And he's a real cynical, you know what? And he says, dude, why? And I'm like, because I have to pick up the boards. Dude, are those boards going to help you draw any better, dude? And I said, no, but it's the industry standard. Dude, as much things have been done with digital work, man. Dude, you can just, that's his favorite word was dude. You can scan all that work, dude. You can use a regular size piece of paper and make your comic, dude. Hey, dude, I'm in comics now and you're not. So one of us is right, the other was wrong. I know you hate to hear that, but I know he watches the show occasionally, so yeah, I know he does. But yeah, one of us is in the comics, the other one is not. It's that simple. You have to have the professional. I don't want to go over the digital, but I'm going to have to at some point. I know it. Eric's just laughing at me like, "Come on, Varian, come on." Randy's already jumped.
Yeah, and I thought that I wouldn't for non-commercial work. I got the board because, quite honestly, I got the board because the accountant said to spend money on me or give it to the government. It's my choice. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to buy a board. So then I saw a video with McFarlane sitting there in front of this board showing it off, and I went, that's the board that I want right there. Wonder how much that board is. And started doing my research and realized that the board that McFarlane had was a little big and that people were complaining that it was too big. So I went next size down, and I caught this just as it was on sale. And, you know.
That was after you woke up from the coma induced by the price tag of McFarlane's board, right?
No, I actually, I knew that was going to be expensive. The board was going to be expensive, but fortunate for me, they were getting rid of this model. Right as I was looking, and they only had like 6 left, I think they said. With Amazon, hurry, only 6 left. It's like, well, you come back 2 months later, hurry, only 6 left. You know,
Eric.
But yeah, that's and I bought this thinking, well, I'll just use it for my commercial work. I'll get used to it and see how it works. And I started after the first couple of commercial jobs, I'm like, oh, I would do this real fast. Holy crap, I can do this and this and this on the board. So that's, and I really haven't done much physical since.
About how much is McFarlane's board, Eric?
Well, the current top of the line Wacom model is clocking in at about $3K, $35K, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
$3,500.
This was about 22 on sale.
Mm-hmm.
JD,
but I don't regret it. I've more than made my money back off of the first couple of commercial jobs.
JD, can Daphne expect one of those under the Christmas tree this year? She should be unwrapping. She has that big model. Whew. No.
She has one of the medium-sized ones. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we had a big. All right. she was given one by a fan of hers years ago.
Okay.
And she really didn't care for it because I don't know, there was just something about it. Then a friend of ours went down to Colombia for a year, and he said, listen, man, I need you to watch my Wacom tablet. And he had a big 36-inch one. Hmm. And we were like, sure, no problem. Snatch. So we got it from him. And she worked on it for a year. And then she was like, yeah, I really liked it. And then, but she said she did feel it was a little large. She got one that's a little bit smaller.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I got a Microsoft Surface that I got off of Eric. And Eric moved over to the iPad Air. Is that what you moved on to?
iPad Pro.
iPad Pro. Okay, and what was that? Was that Ash?
No.
Oh yeah. And
what did that run you? That iPad Pro?
All said and done, about $1,500. Because I pimped it out. Like you buy the pencil separate, you buy the, the drop proof case and all that other stuff.
Yeah, and Eric sold me his with a drop proof case. It only took me a week to break the case. I didn't realize that I couldn't lean on it when I was drawing.
Oh,
and the case had, and I said, oh
no.
So I went online to look up the case. I'm like, how much? But it broke. And then I started thinking like, buy the case and the broken one back. No, don't do that. Don't be that guy.
I tell you what, I got my 22 right here in front of me, my Wacom 22. I bought this with my first, I guess you could say, pro salary rate job. I colored a comic for, a guy who would win Grift King nowadays. But anyway, the payment I got for coloring it was enough to buy this 22. It was just before the new version of it.
Not this one, the guy who tears the corners off.
No. Yeah, no. But anyway, and I love this thing. This thing is probably the second thing I'd grab in a fire to get out of here. And it's old, but it's amazing. It's got such a longevity to it.
We talked. It's funny. Me and Randy talked about fires this morning, and I said, Randy, I got so many books around here that if there's a fire, this place is going up. Randy agreed. His is going top to bottom. I just heard you sigh, JD. You fire risk?
Not just that, but the main thing for my house is a set of wood. So as soon as that goes up, the whole house goes in.
Yeah, we're done.
Daphne
and I are sure to grab laptops and what is it, external hard drives.
Yeah. Paper's gone.
Cat's number one on my list. That's what I'm grabbing.
Yeah.
Grab the cat, get the Wacom into my other arm, bolt.
Maybe a Transformer figure on the way out.
Yeah, maybe if I got enough room.
I'm preservation of self. I'm getting out of here. I might grab the hat on the way out.
They're like Lola and my kid got feet. They can make it.
Yeah.
Anything happens to that hat, we gotta have a memorial for it, man.
Yeah. I told somebody pointed. I was like, you keep putting more buttons on. I'm like, I do, because people keep giving me and sending me buttons, and could you put it on the hat? I had someone send me a button, and they asked me, they sent me the all noodles and them some button. And
you need some googly eyes pinned on there so it can be like the hat for your character in the dinosaur comic.
Yeah, right in the front.
Yeah.
They said, could you put it somewhere we can see it? And I'm like, sure, I can add it somewhere. So it's getting to be a bit much, but we're gonna keep it going. As long as
the hat will have its own camera eventually.
Yeah.
Cam and a shoe cam.
You start pinning it to that tail too. More pins.
Yeah, I guess I could. Yeah, start putting pins on that's our real estate right there, man.
Yeah,
that's real estate right there,
prime
guys. We'll start with Eric. Eric, where can they find you at?
Well, you can go to erichodson.com, ERIKHODSON, and you'll get links to my Instagram, to my webtoon site, which is Dreaded Dinosaur Man, which you can read for free, and you can do all that stuff. Follow me on the Twitter. I'm at Dreaded Dinosaur, and that's cool. And I need more readers on Dreaded Dinosaur Man on webtoon, please. So give it a try, give it a sub. Leave me some snarky comments so I can respond to it.
When you talk about those snarky comments, I want to actually point out one other thing too. I believe it's Fantastic Four number 115 or 117. There's a gentleman that writes in and says, "Hey, this is the greatest issue you've ever done. It's the greatest issue, and I love the fact you guys put the world's greatest comic magazine on the top of the book. It's really great. What other comic has one of the characters fall into a manhole? This Fantasy Four is a great book. The writing is top notch, and you thought the guy's fishing for a job, but he was a kid." And Stan Lee said, "Thanks. Maybe we should cook while you're ahead." But the writer of that letter was some strange little kid, named George R. Martin.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like that's what I wanted to, and I'm glad you brought up the fact you snarky comments, Eric. Watch who you're responding to. You might be responding to a superstar writer of tomorrow. And you're not gonna get that time people to kick rocks and Excelsior bitches. You're not gonna get that. So learn to respect your fan base, because that little boy grew up to be George R.R. Martin.
I have nothing but love for my fan base. Anybody who's a fan of Jared Dinosaur Man is my best friend.
Yeah. JD Calderon, who's cussed out his fans. I'm just kidding. He hasn't cussed them out. No, he loves his fans. He loves
Make that book for you.
Yeah. Yeah. JD, where can they find you at?
You can find me at facebook.com under JD Calderon, Twitter under JD Calderon. You can also find me on YouTube on JD Calderon, where on occasion I'll interview independent comic book creators. And you can find me on the Oswald Chronicles. That's where you really want to find me.
Very good, very good. Randy, where can they find you at?
Well, first, I just want to tell Denny this is a combination of Crystal Light Lemonade and Canada Dry ginger ale. It's not really piss water. It does look like piss, but that's not really what it is. Plus the Tigger, yeah, no rum today. I'm sorry, I haven't had a good glass of Kraken in a long time, and the Tigger cup has always got coffee in it. So sometimes it's ice cold coffee, like right now, but most of the time it's got coffee. I usually go through about a pot a day.
Did you plug up the coffee pot, Randy? You ever plugged it up yet?
No, and now that you mention it, I just happened to think of it. I've got it sitting over there in the room too. I will definitely have to plug that in. So now you'll see me reach over and get a fresh pot every once in a while. Yeah, that would be the smart thing to do. Yeah. You can find me on Facebook under Randy Zimmerman. You can get a hold of me on the Gmail under randyjzim@gmail.com. If you want to email me directly, you can get a hold of me on the Twitter under Randy Zim. I don't tweet very often, but it's over there. I have the Zim Geek channel over on YouTube. That's ZIMMGEEK. And then I'm part of the Indie Volt Radio Network. We have this show here that's on Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Then there's Geekgasm on at Wednesday that I pop in every once in a while. That has Daphne Lage and Meredith Logren currently emceeing it when the Indie Princess isn't running it. Over there Wednesday nights at 9. Then we do the Breakfast Buzz again at Thursday mornings at 9 a.m. And then I run a little program called the Sunday Funnies, where we talk about the more lighter side and more whimsical side of comics and the market on Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. That's the Sunday Funnies at 9 a.m. This Sunday, we plan on having Glenn Fleming on, who is an English book author. We've had him on a couple times before, and we never seem to run out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
He's an excellent author, and he does a magazine called Comics Unlimited that you can find on Amazon. That's available, as well as a number of other books about all sorts of different things. So we offhandedly started talking about the Kennedy assassination, and he started talking about the 2 books that he's wrote. So he knows a lot of stuff and does a lot of things.
And of course, Randy, you say you'll be back here on the Sunday Funnies, and then me and Randy be back Tuesday here again at 9 o'clock. But do not forget that Eric has his show starting. It came from Webtoon Monday at 9
p.m. Yeah, came from Webtoon.
It came from Webtoon, and we're gonna make sure we if you need to go over on Facebook, like us on Facebook. We'll keep you guys up to date and remind you when that is starting at 9 o'clock this coming Monday. See what they got in store. I'm KYD_V on Twitter, Variant Grant everywhere else. You can pretty much find me. There's only one Variant Grant, thank God. And
that's not what Facebook says, but
anyway. Yeah. There's like 20 of us now. Guys, thanks for joining us again. We want to remembering that Ralph Griffith, remembering him and a lot of the books that he created.
Condolences to his family, all of the works that he did, the people that he touched, the definite impact that he had on independent comics, especially Detroit area fandom. Sold comics for many, many, many years.
Mm-hmm. Lots of books and lots of memories of Ralph in such a short time that I got a chance to know him personally. So we'll make sure that we continue on to push Ralph's legacy and what he left behind. Which, you know, what a life, what a legacy to leave behind. I'm
Yeah, that's
not
what he
gonna have-
said. He was very calm and very accepted of what was happening to him. And he told me a couple times he'd done so much and there was so many things that he did. And he looks back on it and he had a better life than most people, did a lot more things than most people did. And he was very satisfied and very happy with the life that he led.
And he would not, and we said this earlier, he would not want us to be bummed out, which is totally opposite from me. I want you guys to be bummed out. I want tears. I want a ticker tape parade. And I demand
there he goes. He's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone.
Should
Boom.
we start crying now?
We can all start crying now. Apparently he lost that.
my shooting is
internet
like
connection.
me. My shooting is like, no, you can't talk. I demand Lola never remarry.
I
Just
think she got
kidding.
it.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I like moving me around everywhere. It's actually yeah, this is
Get back in your corner.
Exactly.
Now I'm in Randy's spot.
No, I'm in Randy.
yeah, it's like
Chaos.
you guys, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. We will see you all here tomorrow. This is like a slot machine. This is
I
great.
love my touch screen. I do.
We'll see you guys all here very soon. Until then, take care of yourselves. Oh,
Don't forget to send us your comments.
Oh, yeah.
You listen to us on the radio, indievolt.com. You can listen online now whenever we're not talking like this. You'll find some great alternative and independent music programmed by the Indie Princess herself. You can get an app on Google Play. You can get an app through Streama. If you ask Alexa nicely, she'll even play Indie Volt Radio at your convenience. There's also a Roku channel where we play wrestling programs and movies and podcasts in longer form, doing things that you wouldn't perhaps normally find on YouTube and or especially Facebook, especially lately. We welcome your comments at IndieVolt Live at indievolt.com. Please, any comments and suggestions you may have, any questions about the industry. We love talking about this. You've seen the show and know that no comment or question is too serious or too silly. So please write us, IndieVolt Live at indievolt.com. Please include IndieVolt Live in the subject line, or you can put LiveWire in the subject line too, so we know what program you're listening to. And please keep those emails to 90 words or less so that you don't strain Varian as he reads them.
I clicked the wrong button because I was trying to click over and get our numbers before we left, so let everybody know how many people are listening. Yeah. And that's why I clicked that by accident. But
that's why you disappeared.
Yeah. So right now we are at 72. So thank you guys for listening in.
72, awesome.
Yes, thank you for everyone in the UK, which is very high right now. The UK, and we got the Philippines back in there. Egypt, Dubai is still there. So thank you guys for listening. Yeah, appreciate it.
And now those pyramids are power stations.
Thanks for the nitwittery out there. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
We know. Oh, guys, we will see you soon. Until then,
set of skills.
Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.
Yay! Think about what you've accomplished.
What the fuck is the matter with people in this business? I hope you're having a nice holiday season. I really do.